I was rather pleasantly surprised to see that Haunted Honeymoon was getting a Blu-ray release. It was one that I wanted to pick up. I've wanted to revisit it for a while. It was a movie that I utterly loved when in my childhood. I watched it way too many times, and I meant to pick it up and I missed the release date. But luckily, a week later on Rare Rares, it was down to half price, £6, and I eagerly jumped on it and picked it up to check out once more. This was one of those movies that I just found a comfort watch when I was younger. It has horror aspects, but it's not really scary. It has comedic moments that are laugh out loud, funny, and it has a throwback to radio plays, which is something that I have a big passion for, something I love. I absolutely love them when they're included on a disc. Like the recent Eureka's Most Dangerous Game had 3 of them on there. Fantastic. Haunted Honeymoon was a movie all about characters who were working in radio plays. But Haunted Honeymoon, we get Gene Wilder, who is writer, director, star of this one, playing Larry Abbott, a man who has a condition. He kind of a bit scared a little times. He's got the hit radio show. He is about to marry the love of his life, his co-star as well on these radio plays. But there is something deep-seated, psychologically scarring this man that he has to overcome. Now he's going back to his home to get married, to meet his aunt again and his family members. But we're introduced to his father, who is going to plan an operation. He's going to scare Larry. He's going to scare Larry to death to cure him of being afraid of things.
What?
So we get back to the castle, we meet an array of people, we find that there's a subplot where someone is going to off it's a matriarchal family member, and we've got that sub-story. We've got the Larry being scared to death sub-story, and it all kind of mixes together in a wonderful comedic and horror pastiche. I love Haunted Honeymoon because of the style, because of the sheer effort that they go to create these horror sequences throughout it that are really somewhat disturbing in moments and somewhat just fun in others. The recreation of kind of Universal Hammer horror, those kind of effects throughout the film are apparent and wonderful homages to that.
You'd think this would frighten me.
You get this terrific sense of humour throughout it, whether it be fantastic wordplay from the characters or whether it be immense physical comedy. There is one sequence where Larry is stuck in the basement. He's just knocked a man unconscious. The police come down, and as he's climbing out over the man's legs, the police arrive. And he is then pretending that these legs are his as they are moving in their own way. Not in the way he wants, but he has to kind of react to it. And it's a over-the-top, elaborate sequence, probably completely unrealistic, but incredibly fun. So many great characters in this one. You get Dom DeLuise as the great aunt figure in this one, who's just outlandishly funny. You get Gilda Radner as Larry's love interest, his wife-to-be, which is just terrific. You've got Jonathan Pryce turning up as his brother at one point, which is just a great addition as well. It's a gothic horror comedy that stands the test of time, in my opinion. I think it's incredibly funny. I think it's endearing. I think Gene Wilder does a terrific job being the writer, the director, creating and staging the moods and getting the comedy pin perfect.
Hey, how's it cooking, Larry? Have you tasted it yet?
Sure, but we're getting married anyway.
As well as starring in the film as well, bringing in a host of characters that are all entertaining, that are all their own thing, to create this mismatch of comedy and horror, and yet still having parts of it work and still being incredibly entertaining. It's one of those movies that I watched a hell of a lot when I was younger, and looking back at it now, I fully understand why I kept watching it. It's easy to watch, it's entertaining. There are things that you may miss the first time, or little throwaway lines that you could easily miss the first time, that are just downright hilarious. And going back to it, you feel as if you're peeling another layer and enjoying it all over again. I was so happy to revisit Haunted Honeymoon. I loved it. I'm glad it lived up to my memory, because you're always a little bit worried. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Fantastic. I'd love to know your thoughts on Haunted Honeymoon. Let me know in the comment box below what you think of it. Liked it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle. Either way, we can have a discussion about that. Don't forget to hit the like button, because I appreciate that. And there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. And in the description box below are links to the Patreon, the membership program, and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on ManVFilm.